the time. Get her out there now with Trump once a week. They do a debate. She doesn't have time to prep for this because it'll be fake, like everything else. So I want to talk about why Kamala Harris is basically hiding along with her VP pick. Now, Kamala, I think we know from the videos I'm about to show you, which I don't really need to show you, you already know the IQ of this individual. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman or that she's a woman of color. No, it has to do with the fact that she has a low IQ. And it's more than obvious. Everyone talks about how the cognitive problems were really obvious with Biden. Well, hello people, it's pretty obvious with Kamala if you're not lying to yourself. Let's check out these videos.
Look, I am a woman. I have a daughter. I hate the fact that there's been no female presidents. I really do. I hate the fact that when you take out your little placemat, when your kids are learning the presidents, there's no female face on there, and then you have to explain why. It's effed up. I would love to see a female president, like a Margaret Thatcher type, somebody who's strong and serious and sober and respected. This ain't it. I am telling you, America is not going to elect this Nimrod.
Yeah, listen, they call her MVP the way you call a stupid person Einstein. Like, oh, you locked your keys in the car, nice going, Einstein. That's why they call her MVP. Oh, you cackled about the border again, nice going, MVP. There's no other reason to call her this. Kamala Harris is so dumb, she studied for a COVID test. Okay, nobody believes she's the MVP.
The bumbling, bizarre, broken record, Kamala Harris, and her strange and quite frankly abnormal obsession with repeating the same lines over and over and over and over.
Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country because our country's never been in this danger before.
All of this brings us then to Kamala Harris. And yes, I concede she is an idiot.
I mean, the woman continually laughs this ridiculous laugh. I don't know, what drug she's on or what makes her so happy all the time, but she's an absolute disgrace and she hasn't done women any favours in that role, Peter, let me tell you.
Incompetent Kamala Harris, who is right now seen as their best chance. Yes, this woman.
We all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But just limited to what we have seen.
Okay, so she's a dope. We all acknowledge this. But if anything is certain, if history, especially the last 3 years, have taught us anything, it is that you can stand up an absolute idiot for president and rack up a whole ton of votes and get that person, him or her, over the line.
I wish I were making this up. A Spotify playlist of African artists to mark her trip. Now, the titles of the songs are illuminating. They include Act a Fool, Reckless and Sweet, Fall, and Nobody. That is probably a more apt description of this visit than I could conjure up even myself thinking all day long.
Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But
she seems pretty senile, too.
She speaks in rhyme. It's weird. The bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States.
I'm sorry to be ad hominem, but she's a fool. She's not a smart person. If you listen to her, as I have now for so many years, you glean that she is faking it. She thinks she's Oprah with her attempts at profundity that never land. We will be unburdened by what has been. It's her only line. She says it all the time. Her other line is about Venn diagrams, which is equally stupid. And her attempt to take complex topics and reduce them down into small, digestible bits is the most offensive to me, because that happens to be what I do for a living, what you, Paul, do for a living. And it does actually take some skill and some research and some knowledge. You have to learn it forward and backward before you can explain it in a very easy to understand way to your audience. She doesn't get it. It doesn't require speaking to people like they're four. But that's her level of communication. So that person's not going to be the first female president. It's not going to happen.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
And by the way, she was speaking to adults there. It wasn't some discussion with fourth graders.
She was so inept and she was so unable to speak publicly or in an impromptu fashion.
And there's a reason they don't want to hold her accountable, because the minute that she gets off script, man, she is a full-scale disaster area. And Donald Trump says that she's not particularly bright. She ain't particularly bright. Kamala Harris is a political MLM saleswoman. That's what she is. She has no idea what in the F she's talking about. Like, none at all. So she just says, like return on investment. Return on investment over and over and over again. Lots of hand motions. 3 in terms of, and 4 returns on investment. Now that's the kind of stuff economic magic is made of.
The worst moments of her vice presidency were when she did unscripted interviews. The worst moment. And they know that. And so they're fixated on that. And that can't be hidden. And everybody knows that. If everybody starts with the premise, which they do now, is that she does not want to give an interview under any conditions, then everything makes sense. The more qualifications, the more backtracking, all of that, the more projecting her reluctance onto Trump. And everybody knows Trump will speak to anybody about anything, anytime, anywhere. He does. He likes that. That's how he made his celebrity career on television. And so that was the reputation that she had among the kingpins of the Democratic Party. And they know that. And the media knows that too. Everybody knows it. And that's what's getting kind of embarrassing when everybody knows it.
Yeah. I mean, the videos speak for themselves, right? So why is Kamala hiding? Why is she hiding? Let me tell you what I think. I think Kamala's hiding, or being told to hide, because ultimately, why would they pick Kamala? They picked her originally just because she was a woman of color, because she was Black, apparently. We can talk about that in another video. But they picked her. Yes, she was a DEI hire. But even if she was a DEI hire, there are DEI hires that are very intelligent and very switched on and very much deserving of the positions they have. A lot of the time that's not the case, but there are cases where it's very much true that people might be a DEI hire, but they might actually be really good at what they do. In Kamala's case, she is not good at what she does and never has been.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. When we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time. Barely a lot to give, but giving a lot nonetheless. We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her word salad and the way she talks, I think she's got early onset dementia and also some problems with menopausal complications. That's that, you see, today is going to be tomorrow. So since it's going to be tomorrow, today we have tomorrow, which is why we are now. Like, what did you say? They have something in mind, but they cannot cognate getting all the way through it, which is why she's famous for this word salad garbage, and she doesn't make a bit of sense. I think since she's only 60, she's actually on a worse track than Biden was. Biden is 20-some years older than her.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work. And look at refugee flows over the history of time. It's time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
You know, this time travel thing has really got me into a spin.
It's a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because it comes in the morning. Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you, it's fascinating when you do. So, Venn diagram, those 3 circles, right? Who doesn't love a yellow school bus? right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Why are conservatives bad, Mommy? Because I thought we were supposed to conserve things. I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can.
Why, I gotta ask, does she always laugh like a stoner kid who's just discovered old YouTubes of Cheech and Chong?
Kamala got to where she is today not through her IQ. Anyone can get a degree. Let's be honest, nowadays, even back in her day, you can get a degree. Even if you're failing a lot of classes, you just keep persisting, you can get a degree. You can pass the bar if really, really you study. You don't have to be Einstein to get a more degree. You have to be persistent. You have to be, I would say, hardworking. She was probably hardworking in college. But after that, there's more and more evidence to just show and prove, along with witnesses, that she's actually quite a lazy person.
She had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hike her skirt up and try to flirt. And she wasn't that good in the courtroom.
The reason she's lazy is because she's not really interested in politics. She could be extreme right, extreme left, center. She doesn't care. She just wants to be the lady with the, like Ben Shapiro mentioned, she wants to be CSI with her sunglasses.
Yes, and it's time to hit back.
She just wants to go down in history and have a legacy. But I mean, that's the case of a lot of people. So I mean, we can't only judge her on that. But we can judge her on the fact that she really doesn't care about politics. She doesn't know politics. She doesn't even know how to hold a conversation. Her word salads, as are very famous. I mean, I have never in my entire life seen someone so incompetent. I mean, even George W. W was known as the guy that was the dummy. He was the alcoholic playboy on campus. I think it was Yale. He went to Yale or Harvard. I think he went to Yale. And he was failing like you wouldn't believe. He was just a party boy in college, in high school, and got to where he got from nepotism from his dad. But even he didn't seem to have the cognitive slowness that Kamala has. I mean, he could still, put a few sentences together and come out on the other side, and we knew what he said. He said a lot of dumb things. I mean, had there been memes back in those days, we would have had a field day.
Rarely is the question asked, is our children learning?
The new Prime Minister of India is, no.
These immigrants have helped transform 13 small colonies into a great and growing nation of more than 300 people.
With Kamala, it's like she gets to the end of her discourse or her little speech or whatever, or an answer to a simple question, she still hasn't answered it. She said a lot of words, but at the end, a lot of words that mean nothing.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
You can put lots of words together, and it sounds like you're saying something, but you're often not.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Think about it like when you first get to college and you're writing your college papers, and in the beginning, you're not getting the best grades. This is what happened to me, at least. Because you go off on tangents, you're not really supporting your statements, and the professor's like, you are saying a lot of words here, when really, the professor crosses out like 3 sentences. You could have said it in 1 sentence. And that is basically Kamala. She's a freshman in college and doesn't yet know how to write her paper.
There are a number of things on the issue of the economy as a whole that we must do. And a lot of that work is the work that I'm here to do on the continent.
Let's hope that work includes using sentences that stack up, Laura, to convey more than one thought. She has a real comfort with like one idea being expressed over and over and over again, kind of jumbling the words, but it's the same thing. I don't know why she speaks so much. Just say the one line and go home.
Should she be running a country? I mean, when you're a freshman in college and you don't know how to write a paper yet, you're not going to get a job as CEO or even assistant to a CEO. So should Kamala be in the position she's in? No, she shouldn't. We all know this. It's been luck. I mean, she's a really lucky lady. I'll give that to her. She's very good at manipulation and flirting and whatever else. She had her sugar daddy, Willie Brown, that helped her get to where she is today. If it wasn't for Willie Brown, she wouldn't even be in politics. I really doubt it, unless she found another sugar daddy, Willie Brown style. So why is she hiding? That's what we're getting at now. Off on a tangent I went. She is hiding because they're telling her to, because they know that mentally she is not up to being in front of the press and answering her word salads and losing a hell of a lot of support. So what do they have to do? They have to stall for time. For what? not just to hide her from the cameras, but right now, in my opinion, they're prepping her. Every day, she's doing boot camp 101 on how to become a president. She is learning history, politics. She's practicing every question they can come up with. The other reason they're waiting and not letting her talk, and obviously they're not letting her VP pick talk either, because if he talks, then it's like, why isn't she talking? So he can't talk yet because of this. But also what they're doing with Kamala and with the VP pick as well is they're waiting to see what all the backlash is, because they know that the media and the Republicans and everyone's going to come up with like stories, accusations, finding skeletons in the closet, all this type of stuff. It's normal stuff. I mean, and we're finding it now. Like, we found out about Willie Brown. We've heard Judge Joe Brown. We've heard stories with videos coming up from the past. We're seeing how the Black African American community is taking her, like the ones that are not taking her, let's say. Well, a lot of things are coming up. Same with the faux valor situation going on with Walls. So what they're doing right now is they're hiding. And they're doing a bit of recon. They're trying to figure out, okay, let's hear all the bad stuff. Let's have all the bad stories come up. So we've got time to come up with answers, excuses, and deflect and just figure out how we're going to, answer all these questions and go about all of the rumors and things coming up, because they have to come up with a game plan. So that's why they're hiding. They're hiding until they can hear all the bad stories, have all the answers for the bad stories, and they're waiting for Kamala to be educated, to be up to scratch. They're teaching her right now about basic geography, history, politics. They're teaching her everything she needs to know so she can be prepared, so she doesn't look like a loser when she's in front of Donald Trump. The thing is, Donald Trump, he's been doing this for a long time. And the other thing is, Donald Trump, he has stayed consistent throughout. Kamala hasn't. She's flip-flop all over the place, but she doesn't care if she's extreme right, extreme left. I don't believe a lot of these people that say that Kamala is a really extreme leftist, woke, radical. I actually don't believe that. I believe Kamala is whatever Kamala needs to be to get some power and to win and to be in the spotlight and to be the pretty girl, forgetting that she's a 60-year-old woman, that she's the drunk aunt in front of the camera, the cool one who smokes weed and listens to Tupac, because Tupac is the only rapper she's ever heard of. So that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think she's hiding out because they're educating her right now, getting her ready? They can't get her in front of the cameras until she's ready, until she knows some stuff, until she starts with the word salads. They're really training her like a soldier right now. She's doing boot camp. She's doing politics 101. She's doing speech 101. She's doing all those classes. She is doing boot camp right now to prepare her for any debates that come up, which is why I believe they should be starting to do weekly debates, as I think it was Ben Shapiro that mentioned, every week. They should be doing a debate every week on a topic that they don't know they're going to get before they get there. Because let me tell you, Kamala will be word salad. She won't know what to say. She'll be getting all tied up and lost in her own crazy expressions, and she'll be lost. Like the time she was like deer in the headlights with, but I haven't been to Europe either.
The border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
So that's what I think. I think don't give her the time. Get her out there now with Trump once a week. They do a debate. She doesn't have time to prep for this because it'll be fake, like everything else. Because she doesn't even know what she stands for. She tries to take things that Donald Trump already said he was going to do, like with the taxes, the tips. Come on. This woman is too much. Anyway, please subscribe, please like, and help me grow the channel, and let me know what you think. Do you think I'm onto something with this disappearing act, Kamala MIA? Let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care.
He knows how to sell right there, okay.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, she's still got a sense of...
Okay, I can first. Okay, so this time. Szanowna pani redaktor.
Madam, the situation is very complex.